everybody, it's Nina. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing Jackson's 4-month update. Now this video is going up way late. His 4-month was actually April 26th, but I couldn't get him in to see his doctor until yesterday, so I decided to hold off on it. Now he is weighing in at 15 pounds 1 ounce, and he is 25.5 inches long. He is getting so big, you guys. I can't believe it. He is growing so fast. I did not expect it to go by this fast. It's just crazy how fast it's going. Some of his likes, he loves going for walks, and he has a little walker that he sits in that plays music, and it's a little Winnie the Pooh one. You will press it and it plays music and lights up that he just adores. So he loves that. He loves going for walks or car rides. For the most part, he loves the car. He loves playing peekaboo, and I take the little swaddle blanket and I like roll it over his face and do peekaboo, and he just giggles. And he actually just started giggling for the first time last week, which I'll have to insert a clip of him just giggling. It's just the cutest thing ever. What? Jackson. You a doggy? Go. He loves his naps. He hates going down for them, but he loves to sleep. Also, he loves being read to before he goes to sleep. So anytime that he goes down for a nap or down to bed, I always read him a story first. He loves his pacifier. And I don't mean like normal one, I mean his Wubba Nub with the little monkey on it. So it stays in his mouth and he sits there and he plays with him. He loves that thing. He all of a sudden learned how to grab onto things and shove it in his mouth. Yeah, that's been great. Which starts his salivary glands, which means he's just drooling everywhere. He did start baby food. We got the okay from the doctor, so he did start rice cereal. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description. He started rice cereal and he started fruits. He can sit up for the most part with a little bit of support. He loves his bumpo. He just sits in it and plays with anything I give him. He loves being able to sit up and look around. He hates laying down and not being able to look out at things. Some of the things he doesn't like so far is tummy time. I think that's the main thing he just doesn't like. Otherwise, he's a pretty chill kid. He will like pretty much everything. One thing I did find out, motorcycles. Anytime that they go by, he absolutely screams. And I feel so bad for him. I think it's just the loud noises, which any kid is gonna do. But it was just so random. One went by and I didn't even think anything of it, and he just lost his mind. So while at the doctor's, she was examining Jackson's head, which I'm gonna do a whole separate video on this. But he does have, I forgot what it's called, it's this long name. It's basically like flathead syndrome. In all of my ultrasound pictures, he was always right against my spine. So it wasn't really a shock to me that he came out with a little bit of a flat head. And he started sleeping through the night at 3 weeks old. And so he was on his back all night long. I never put him on his side at night. I always put him on his side during the day and gave him lots of tummy time during the day. But sleeping through the night 12, 13 hours doesn't hold up to, tummy time and nap times being up. It just didn't help. So we actually went to a plastic surgeon and was seen by them for a helmet, and I'll go through that whole story in a separate video because that's going to be a whole separate thing. So anyway, back to his 4 months. Other than that, he is perfectly healthy, happy, amazing little boy. I just love him so much. So last night, my fiance Evan and I put Jackson to bed about 8 o'clock, which is normal for him. We usually put him to bed anywhere between 7 and 8:30, depending on how his day went, if he napped, if he didn't, and all those. So like I said, we put him to bed at 8 o'clock, swaddled him up. He loves being in his swaddle. It's pretty much the only way he'll really fall asleep. Otherwise, he takes his binky out and he throws it, and then he cries, and he just refuses to sleep. So he does sleep in a swaddle. And I do give him his binky, and before he falls asleep, he does spit it out. So he doesn't sleep with it in. He always spits it out. And so me and my fiance, we went to bed about 10, 11 o'clock or so. And we have a monitor on him at night. We have 2 monitors, actually. We have the video monitor that's, connected in his room, and we can see him in his crib. There's another monitor that we have. It's called the Owlet Baby Monitor. It's this right here. It is a little sock that, just goes on their foot. It's got a little monitor on top that rests on the top of their foot. And it also has a little base station that plugs into the wall, and it's connected through Wi-Fi, and there's an app on your phone you download. Now the sock sends the signal to the base station that everything's okay, and the base station will light up green, and then it'll show up on your phone. It'll show up with their heart rate and their oxygen levels. I got a lot of crap for this when I bought it, because everybody's like, you're not gonna need that. What are you buying that for? That's a waste of money. But honestly, I did my research on it, and everybody was swearing by these. So I was like, you know what? I want to try it. If all these people are saying how good it is, then it's got to be decent, at least. And it'll help me sleep. It'll give me some peace of mind that if something is wrong with my son, that it's going to tell me. So, I bought it. And I really didn't care what other people think. I told them about it, and they're like, why would you do that? Because I wanted to. I don't, tell you what not to buy, what to buy, anything like that. So don't tell me what to do. That sounds terrible, but you know what? It is what it is. So, anyway, like I said, this monitors his oxygen level and his heart rate, and it'll send it right to your phone. It's the best thing in the world. The base station stays with you in your room at night or during the day. If you work at night like I do, I use it during the day. My fiance works during the day, and he uses it at night. So, anyway, the base station stays in your room. The sock is obviously on the baby. You just turn the base station on. There's a little, you just press the top of it and it turns right on. And it instantly monitors to your phone. It'll monitor, like I said, his heart rate, his oxygen levels. Now, if anything is wrong, it'll tell you. The base station lights up green when there's nothing wrong and when it's monitoring. It'll light up blue when there's a Wi-Fi connection, like disconnection. If something's wrong with the Wi-Fi, or if it's not getting a signal or anything like that, it'll light up blue. If the baby kicked off the sock, it'll light up yellow. And it'll play a lullaby for blue and yellow lights. It'll play just this little light lullaby, and not loud enough to wake you up, but not enough to wake you up in a panic. If something is wrong, they give you a window. Now for the heart rate, it has a level between 60 beats per minute to 220 beats per minute. So that's a pretty big gap. 60 is really, really low, and 220 is obviously really, really high. But if they fall anywhere in between that, it's considered a normal heart rate. For the oxygen, the low is obviously around 80, and the high is 100. So if it falls out of that category for either one, it will sound a critical alarm that the base station turns red and it blinks, and it will be so loud. I tested it on my phone. There's a way through the app where you can test it so you can hear it, so you know what to listen for. So I did that in the early beginning when we had it. And so I knew what the sound was. And we've never heard it before. We've never had a problem before. The only issue we have had with it is like Jackson kicking it off, which isn't a problem with the outlet monitor. It's a problem that, you know, Jackson couldn't keep it on his foot at night. So we've never had a problem with it going off randomly. And last night was the first night that it went off, and it scared me half to death. We were sleeping for about a couple hours, and all of a sudden our room just sounded with this terrible alarm. And I look up and I quickly, you know, get up and I look, and his base station is blinking red, and it's just got this really loud alarm. So I quickly, you know, hit it, turn it off, grabbed my phone, because on your phone it'll alarm you as well. So not only does the base station go off, but your phone goes off as well. And me and my fiance both have it on our phones, so our phones were alarming, the base station was alarming. It was just so loud. And I quickly grabbed my phone and I look down, and it says critically low heart rate, and my heart just dropped. I'm even getting teary-eyed right now. My heart just sank, and I just quickly, you know, threw the covers and ran to his room. I quickly darted into his room and, you know, just grabbed him right out of his crib, and he was awake and he was okay and he was breathing, and it took me a minute to come back down because, you know, it scared me. Something was wrong, and I'm not sure what it was from. I'm not sure if he was just starting to have something wrong or what, and I just kind of woke him up and scared it out of him, or what happened, because me and my fiance both we couldn't run fast enough to his room, and we like opened the door really loud and came running in and just grabbed him, and he was just kind of looking like half asleep, and like his eyes were just starting to open, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that happened, because if the outlet monitor did not tell us that his heart rate was critically low, I'm not sure what would have happened. You know, if I didn't catch it in time, would something bad happen, or was it just because he was sleeping? I mean, I have no idea. And really, I don't want to ever find out. So yeah, I am absolutely 100% grateful that I bought this. I recommend this to everybody. First time moms, second time moms, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a second time mom. It's always a new baby. They're not the same as your first. Every baby is different. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, we've been using this for 3 months now. Jackson's 4 months, and we bought it when he was a month old. We've been using it for 3 months, and you get used to it, and I never thought anything would happen. I just always wanted to make sure that it didn't. And when it went off last night, it was definitely a reality check. Like, hey, something could happen at any point in time. So with that being said, I am extremely grateful for Owlet and their monitor. And by no means is this, you know, a sponsored video or anything like that. But I am just truly grateful for this monitor. It could save your baby's life, and that's the way that I look at it. And everybody kind of looks at me and says, you know, why'd you spend so much money on that? Because I wanted to, and I wanted to make sure that my son is going to be safe when I am not right next to him. We can't always watch our babies, especially when they're sleeping, especially when you're sleeping, and that's usually when bad things happen. And I'd rather spend the money and not have anything happen to him than to not spend the money and constantly wish that I bought it just in case. So with that being said, I just wanted to put this in his update video since it did happen just last night. I've been monitoring him like every hour since then. When he went back to sleep, I kept waking up and checking the monitor to make sure that his levels were stable and that they weren't dropping out or anything like that. And immediately after we woke him up and, you know, sat with him for a minute, we went back into our room and checked our phones to see what his levels were at, and he was right back to normal. He was right at, like, you know, 130, 140, which is where he normally is. He's never been lower than 100, at least not when he's like dreaming. When he's in REM sleep and he's dreaming and things like that, he's about 98, 99. The lowest I think I've ever seen him at was 95. So for him to be lower than 60 was extremely scary. Enough of that before I really start crying. I just wanted to give you guys a little update, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!